As the fleet finally approached Philippine territorial waters on Monday, May 5th, a diplomatic crisis developed, one that threatened the entire plan and the welfare of the refugees.
There was a problem of getting in Subic Bay because the communist government did object to our escape and asked the Filipino government to send back the fleet.
Negotiations went on for some time, with messages flying back and forth between the U.S. Navy's 7th Fleet, the U.S. Embassy in Manila, and the State and Defense Departments in Washington. Finally, there was an agreement. Since most of the South Vietnamese vessels had once been U.S.-owned, they could be returned to U.S. ownership. Naval personnel, mostly from Kirk's crew, would board and disarm the vessels, replace South Vietnamese flags with United States flags, and take command. They would then enter Subic Bay as U.S. Navy ships.
South Vietnam had already fallen, and the Philippine government had officially recognized the communist government as the lawful government of Vietnam, all of Vietnam now. So the Vietnamese flag, the gold with the 3 horizontal red stripes, had no longer had meaning to the Philippine government. Of course, it had infinite meaning to the Vietnamese refugees who were willing to die for that flag.
Shortly after 10 a.m. on May 6th, personnel transfers to the Vietnamese vessels began. By day's end, 39 of Kirk's personnel had been embarked aboard the ships, 9 officers and 30 enlisted.
So we rounded up 30 American flags from the cook and myself and several other ships there, and we put an officer in charge of every one of these ships.
Those LSTs that we had to disarm were full of weapons. It was incredible, the weapons aboard these ships. They all went into the South China Sea. We had to throw them over the side. So it was a very busy day and a half of disarming that fleet.
I was asked to deliver the orders to each of the ships, to each of the Americans on the ships, and then a flag, because we're going to have this reflagging ceremony.
A boat came by and delivered the packet with the American flag, and the ceremony was to be done with as much dignity as possible.
And the young officer came on board our ship and said that you have to lower the flag and hoist the American flag up and sail in. I asked him, I said that, we lost everything. We lost our pride, we lost our country, we lost our pride, we lost everything. But please, do a last favor or try to have a ceremony of down the flag and then raise the flag up. A ceremony that would save us some face. And we have a very, very emotional ceremony. And all the people would flock to the deck, sing the national anthem, crying at the same time to lower their flag and then raise the American flag ceremoniously. So the dignity is there. So even though that it's a big loss for us, but at least it really saved our faith and also our dignity.
It was kind of a feeling of finality in the fall. That was kind of the final step in the fact that South Vietnam no longer existed.
The ship was silent. There was no one speaking on the ship. It was absolutely quiet. Then as they were preparing to lower the South Vietnamese flag, in a cappella, the crew started singing the national anthem. It was a very moving time. It was, as they slowly lowered the flag, and people singing, they saw their flag, maybe the last time ever they were going to be under their flag.
Here is one that I came since then. The captain gave it to me. Very, very respectfully said, "Sir, keep that flag."
And then, in silence, the American flag was raised.
At 12:27 p.m. on Wednesday, May 7th, Kirk's log recorded a Filipino aircraft flying over to check the vessel's identification. 2 hours later, Kirk passed Grandee Island in Subic Bay, just under a mile to starboard.